And now, fighting out of the blue corner, shooting center blue corner. Please make welcome Byelka Bam Bam Soto.
Versus a wrestler, as you talked about, debut fights for both these fighters as far as pro boxing. Whoever advances will be making their pro kickboxing debut. Cheri Muraski, you and I have both had the honor of watching her fight quite a bit here in Colorado, with having a 7-fight record.
Our quarterfinal matchup in the Queen of Sparta tournament is presented by Blue Course Shooting Center. It's now time to meet the fighters first. Fighting out of the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner, representing Easton Training Center from Denver, Colorado. Please make welcome Cheri Muraski. And her opponent, fighting out of the Blue Course Shooting Center blue corner, representing 303 Training Center from El Paso, Texas. Please make welcome Byelka Bam Bam Soto. This quarterfinal matchup is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds. Referee is Tom Johnson.
All right, ladies, we went over the rules earlier.
Soto wearing the black and orange, representing Colorado's 303 Training Center, but coming to us out of Texas. See how that conditioning plays out. Facing off against Muraski of Easton Training Center, wearing the all black. Bell rings, and it's Muraski charging across the cage. And both fighters letting their hands go early. Good job by Soto. Comes upstairs with a couple of nice hard shots in the corner of Muraski, saying you need to throw fast. And Soto looks very on point with her targeting this evening. Almost everything she's throwing out there is finding a target. And just as I say that, Muraski snaps her head around with a couple of accurate punches.
They are both in extremely great shape.
And
I'm impressed how they both came in right now.
And for as hard as Muraski came out of the corner, charging, just throwing fast, throwing hard, Soto is very, very calm right now.
She is very composed. She looks very comfortable.
Just sort of nonplussed by the whole situation.
Absolutely.
And I think I see some blood coming from around above the right eye of Muraski. Of course, the difficulty with the cut above the eye is the only place for it to go is into the eye, and that's something that will stop a fight. So
Absolutely.
See how that plays out. And Soto being backed against the ring now. Gets her back off the ropes, looks to answer. Soto managing the distance very nicely.
Very well.
Couple seconds left here. Separate.
Sparta Combat League is presented by Residence Inn Marriott
both
Westminster, the official hotel of Sparta
accurate,
Combat
good
League.
shots. They each kind of traded times that they were kind of in charge.
Yeah, each fighter able to sort of take command of the ring for moments during that fight. And I see them attending to the right elbow of Soto a little bit.
Yeah.
So don't know if something happened here. Maybe, of course, came into the ring already with some kind of an injury. Hard to say. Over in Muraski's corner, what are you telling her? Thinking, maybe she took the better of it or was on the...
To not get wild, I think whenever she was staying tighter with her jabs and her crosses, they were able to land, and she was able to kind of keep her at bay. So even when things get sloppy, to not start throwing wild.
And
here they go. Immediately.
Back to it just as we started round number 1. Corner of Muraski asking for a flurry, and their fighter listening well and answering with that. And over in the corner of Soto, UFC fighter J.J. Aldridge, somebody that's seen a lot of ring and cage time, and great deal of that having been here in Colorado, so always nice to have that kind of experience in your corner, somebody that literally been there, done that.
Absolutely.
Corner of Muraski asking for some space. And, of course, in boxing, a little different than what you may want in MMA. Sometimes MMA, certain techniques you want to be in close and smothering and shutting down the arm motions. But here in boxing, typically you're going to want to be at a little more distance and able to get those hands going. Of course, that's a bit of a generalization, but...
That's all it takes.
And basically the corner of Muraski, they're right in front of us and we can hear them. They're just asking for more output, and it's having a solid effect.
It definitely
Basically,
is.
they want their fighter to outwork Soto. And
overwhelming.
You always talk about it during fights, and that's being able to set a pace that your opponent can't keep up with.
And never allowing your opponent to truly get, started in a combo. Anytime that they can get set.
The ability to interrupt
don't want them to
rhythm.
get set. So anytime I'm going.
Sparta Combat League's Queen of Sparta tournament is brought to you by Larry H. Miller Nissan on 104th Avenue. Check out the huge selection of new and used Nissans on 104th in Denver at Larry H. Nissan.
I will say I'm 100% in agreement. So
Definitely.
good, you and I don't have to argue it out here.
Well, I will. I'll argue you.
Round number 3 coming up. Whoever able to go home with the win here gonna have to, do some replenishing in the locker room, because 3 hard rounds is enough for one night, but then to know you got to come out and
do more
and
more
start using other weapons.
I know I say this a lot, but I would like to see angles from them both more. Anytime you throw that jab cross, I'm moving and I'm angling, and then I'm hitting you again. And I feel that they would both, they would take a little bit of an advantage.
Definitely they'd feel some benefit from that, no doubt. All right, so I have it right now 1-1, so we can call this the championship round.
I agree.
Folks are seeing it the same way, and basically it's going to be a matter of who really wants this, and we saw Soto listing herself as a wrestler, and she's definitely getting some turns in the clinch there. What I'm liking about this fight is neither fighter seems to have a fear of the other, and they're both willing to just step forward and really put it out there, and sort of I don't care what you hit me with, I'm just going to keep coming forward. And not all coaches are going to agree with that strategy.
Absolutely.
I'm not a coach, I'm a fan, so I'm loving it.
Throw more.
Less than a minute to go here. See who's able to put their foot on the gas pedal, because that seems to be what this fight is mostly about. who's able to press the pace, who's able to get their combination started, as you said, and keep their opponent from being able to sort of find their own rhythm. And Muraski steps forward with a couple of good shots, and then Soto backs up Muraski. The proverbial, I would hate to be a judge for this one type situation.
Absolutely.
And we can definitely see some varied combat experience from both these fighters as there's some forearms coming through there. A little bit of what we would say on the edge type
Every
techniques.
tool they have that they can use, they're using.
There's the
Sparta
bell.
Combat League is
Very
presented
nice.
by The Dab by Next
Touch of
Harvest, all
gloves
about
for
providing top-of-the-line
sportsmanship. You gotta
cannabis
love that.
products at the most
Very nice
affordable
pace.
prices. The
Muraski
Dab by
reddening
Next
up around
Harvest.
the eyes. Her corner folks are going to have some work to do if she advances in the tournament, try to get some of that swelling down. And
It's an interesting concept because in boxing, you want to go hard because you want to win, but then you have a whole other bout to go. So there's that, like, how hard should I go balance? But if you don't go hard enough, then you don't make it on anyway.
yeah, if you're in the back saying, I had more to give, but I
Right,
didn't,
and that's heartbreaking.
Absolutely. And Soto, I'm not sure how much time she spent here in Colorado outside of coming from Texas.
I think she
but-
lives here.
Okay, that was my thought, but they
Yeah.
announced her as being from Texas, so I wasn't certain.
Home
But
pride, I'm sure. But
There we go.
I think,
There we go.
yeah.
but
I think she lives here, though.
I was gonna say, for having come from Texas, she sure looks to be good at the end of a 3-round fight, as far as not bent over, gasping for wind or anything.
Yeah, no.
So
Everybody came to play with their cardio, for sure. I love it. Here comes the scorecard. All right.
got their 3 columns of 2 numbers added together, and see how this goes.
Adding. It's hard.
Adding numbers and enemy.
After 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored about 29-28, declaring your winner by unanimous decision and on to the semifinals in the Queen of Sparta tournament, Cheri Muraski.
29-28, all 3 judges saw it the same.
Back with an interview with Cheri and
Absolutely.
bout number 4 in just a moment.
Yes, congratulations to the Easton Training Center fighter, Cheri Muraski. Gonna go in the back and get herself ready for another couple of rounds.
All right, I'm backstage now with Cheri Muraski, who just won the first round of the Queen of Sparta tournament. Cheri, you're an MMA fighter whose best work is done on the ground. How did it feel to do some boxing out there?
It's a little awkward, I have to admit. Having these big old gloves, I don't really like it. But yeah, it's an experience, so I'm really glad I'm doing it.
You did enough to get the win. Great job out there. Your next round is a kickboxing match against Shannon Sin. You have a win over her in MMA. How do you feel going toe-to-toe with her in some kickboxing?
I don't actually think I'm going to get Shannon, but I'm fine with kickboxing. You know, the more I can add, the better.
So what are you going to do between rounds to kind of rest, recover, get ready for this next round?
Oh, I'm just going to eat a little bit and then relax and then warm up again.
All right, well, great job. Congratulations on that win. We'll see you next round.